When I was at D-Day at Conneaut, Ohio this year, I sat down with Pete, another French Resistance reenactor, and we talked about what drew him to this impression. What stood out to me wasn't just his knowledge, but his perspective as someone portraying an older fighter. Someone who probably would have already seen World War I and possibly fought in it as well, but wasn't done fighting. Let's get into it. So Pete, you do the French Resistance.
I do.
So can you describe anything that you take that's unique to your impression?
I like the fact that I'm actually one of the older guys, because at my age in 1944, there's no way I could have been a GI or a soldier in any army, especially the French army, because the French army no longer exists in 1944. But at my age, I could have been a World War I vet.
Okay.
And so I bring that combat experience. I fought the Huns before, and for the second time in my life, I'm fighting them again. And like I said, I'm way too old to be an active soldier, but I can still fight them on different terms. I can still blow up train tracks. I can still assassinate officers. I can still send messages to the Allies. So I can still make a contribution even at my age. So I like being one of the older guys to show that we still are a viable fighting force.
How did you first get started with this impression?
Pretty much what I had been talking about. I played with 2nd Armored Division. I was a GI for many, many years. And I didn't feel as comfortable being an old man in a uniform, because we're trying to portray and honor and represent what these boys did 80 years ago, 80 plus years ago. And so I still wanted to stay in the reenacting community and still be connected to World War II. My father and his brother were both World War II combat vets. All my uncles served in some capacity. They carried a wrench or a rifle or something. And so I still wanted to keep their memory alive and continue to do displays and educate the public. And so that's why I picked this, because it's still a viable option.
Place yourselves in the shoes of someone in 1944. If you'd already fought in one World War I, how would have that experience changed the way you resisted in World War II? Would you strike from the shadows, focus on sabotage, or help in some other way that wouldn't be quite as expected? Let's discuss your strategy in the comments. I'd love to hear your creativity. And if you're watching this on your phone, hit that hype button if it's available. It's not always, but it really helps the channel and it helps this video. Also, if you haven't already, make sure you're subscribed. This is Brave Builds, where history, kit, and reenacting come together to help us build a better understanding of their bravery, because their story deserves to be remembered.